All right, Mom, I believe you. Owen is a thing of the past, and we'll keep it that way. Yes, we will. I won't let this family be torn apart. Nothing will ever destroy our home. I'm looking forward to Labor Day, Clarice. You and I have got a lot to discuss. Because I feel like this will only be over once Keith is put in prison. Happy birthday, Elvira. I love you, and I miss you. Don't worry. Udell will show up to say hi. He just needs to drop Yvette off at her community service assignment. I can't believe how much has changed in a year. Last year, my family would celebrate your birthday with your family. Now my family is no longer welcomed at your family's estate. I don't know how things got so crazy in such a short amount of time. Hey, Wanda. Happy Labor Day. Happy birthday, Elvira. I love you so much, my precious bro. Even after 21 years, this family has a tremendous hole in it. A hole that no one else could ever fill. Happy Labor Day, Mrs. Russo. Miss Jones. What are you doing here? I work at Russo Jewelers. All employees are invited to your family's picnic. Employees are invited outside. Why are you in my dining room? Because you and I have a lot to discuss. I'm glad we all get to hang out together before school starts tomorrow. I can't believe summer is almost over. And Vanessa, you're a senior, getting old there. Don't start, JJ. And it was this time last year where you two became the best friends I ever had. Without your friendship, I don't know if I'd ever be encouraged not to live for myself, but to live for Jesus. I thank God for my salvation, but I also thank Him for giving me people to help me through so much this past year. With my dad being exposed as a person who took Elvira's life and my personal issues, I thank God for placing you in our lives, Ulissa. I can't imagine you not being in it. I second that, Ulissa. You're really awesome. Hey guys, thanks for coming. Alright, Keith. I'll be gone for a little while. Where are you going, Dad? To the Labor Day picnic at the Russo estate. I don't think they want you there. I'm gonna try and make peace with D.A. Russo. If I can do that, then I could help keep an idiot like you out of prison. Behave while I'm gone. Sorry, Dad, but I'm not an idiot like you think. What I have in store for Valley Park is only something a mastermind can do. Now I've got to prepare. What are you doing here? Since I knew you wouldn't be at the Russo estate, I knew you'd want to honor your best friend on the week of her birthday. If you knew I'd be here, Owen, then why did you bother showing up? This was the only way to reach you. My number is blocked on your phone, and I knew I wouldn't be welcomed at your house. I told you that I was serious when I said I'd do my best to make sure that Yvette wouldn't face prison time. Please. Udell was more than capable of doing that as her lawyer. You did nothing special. What I did could have cost me my entire career, Wanda. What could you and I possibly have to discuss? Mrs. Russo, you've been accusing me of playing games when you're the one who's playing games. In fact, you've been playing games for a very long time. What on earth are you talking about? Alright, I'll confess. When you barged into my apartment and tried to intimidate me, I lied. My father's name isn't Isaac and my mother's name certainly isn't Debbie. But Vivian wasn't lying when she told you that she has a father named Isaac and a mother named Debbie. No. Why are you saying this? Because it's true. You are looking for the truth, aren't you, Mrs. Russo? What I want is for you to leave my house. This is how you treat a guest? When I treated you like royalty when you came by my apartment, uninvited? I want to make it clear that I'm not playing with you, Mrs. Russo. Not anymore. You know exactly who my parents are. Take a good look at me. Which one of my parents do I resemble the most? Now, leave. And don't you dare step foot into this town again. Benedict. I had Benedict look into you. I had him look into your background. And he did, even confronted me about it. What he didn't do was tell you the truth about what he found. Your suspicions were right, Mrs. Russo. Shirley is my mama, which only means one thing and one thing only, is that Mr. Russo is my daddy. Since our families made amends, Max, we were invited to the picnic this year. I still feel very responsible for all of that. Don't sweat it. That's all in the past now. JJ, I think we should leave Vanessa and Max alone for a bit. Was it something I said? I heard that the restraining order went through. Praise God it did. It is an answer to prayer, but this issue with Keith won't end until he's locked up. I don't only want to talk about Keith with you, Vanessa. School is going to start tomorrow, our senior year. How are we going to move forward? Mpakagwe, nous étions dans Valibac, puis en année. Année a volé vite. C'est vrai, papa. This year has had a lot of blessings and trials. But this family is going to receive a huge blessing. Are you talking about Keith going to prison after the trial? I'm not talking about that, Jeremiah. I wanted to tell you first, but since your dad is here, I want to tell you that. Finnegan? Welcome to the Russo Estate, one of the most important landmarks in Valley Park. But no one knows I'm here, so I've got to be as quiet as a mouse. Legally, I'm not allowed to be here. But who cares at this point? Not when I'm here to explain that I'll be making my mark in history. This town won't know what hit him. I never asked you to risk your career in the courtroom, Owen. You didn't have to ask me. I did it because I love you. Stop it. Stop saying that. Where's Udell? Your husband should be by your side, especially on a day like this. Udell is dropping Yvette off at her community service assignment. He'll be here soon. Besides, if you truly wanted to risk your career, then you wouldn't have taken the case to begin with. Being on probation and being required to do community service is 100 times better than being in a prison cell, Wanda. Did you honestly stop by my best friend's grave to gloat? Because if you did, then you can get to stepping. I'd rather spend time with Elvira's burial site than spend another second with you, Owen. Are you okay, Mrs. Russo? Since I'm your husband's daughter, I guess it would be all right with you if I call you Clarice. What's wrong? Did you think my mama was gonna have a boy? Your mother giving birth to a boy was my prayer. My worst nightmare was that your mother would bring a girl into this world. Sounds like an exaggeration. It's not. The fact that I'm looking at you is not fair. Not when I lost a daughter, yet Lorenzo, his bastard, turns out to be a girl. My husband's whore gave him another daughter. What you're not gonna do is call my mama out of her name. A whore is exactly what she is. I knew it. I just knew her little spawn would turn out to be wicked. How dare you? How dare you do this today? The day I celebrate the day my Pearl was born. Instead, I live another year without my daughter. And you're standing right in front of me. It's just as bad as stomping on Elvira's grave. I ain't come here to dishonor Elvira Clarice. She was my sister after all. Shut up! Don't you dare degrade my late daughter's name ever again, you vile, atrocious spawn. I ain't never done nothing to you, Clarice. Not one single thing. You call me vile, yet you hated me the moment you knew about my conception. Yet you discarded a scared, young pregnant woman who just happened to be carrying your husband's baby. And I thought you were pro-life. In fact, it seems like you were more angry with my mama than you were with Lorenzo. How do you think he'd feel if he found out that you kept him from the only other daughter he had? It might make this day feel a little bit more special for him. I don't know how we move on from here, Max. You and I still attend the same church. We'll most likely run into each other at school every single day. I don't want to spend all of senior year avoiding you. What other choice do we have? Holding each other's hands in the hallways? Does the thought disgust you that much, Vanessa? We've come a long way in a year. You and I are better off as friends. Does that mean you still want me in your life? I admit that I might have overreacted when you told me about Ben's plan the other day. But of course, I still want you in my life. And I want you in my life too. But I'm not sure if I have a place in it. Not when I feel the way I do for you. I'm gonna ask you again, Vanessa. Do you have feelings for me as more than just a friend? Yes or no? Get out of my way, Jeremiah. I'm not here to see you. And you think the Russos would want to see you, since you're trying to protect Keith from paying for his crimes? Do you have him in your car? Because he's not supposed to be anywhere near us until the trial. Keith is at home. Settle down. You actually trusted that he would stay there on his own? As long as my son is nowhere near your family, then you don't have to worry about what he's doing. My family and I have every right to know what that boy is up to when he's by himself. The world might see me as a monster once they get a hold of this video. I want to say that I don't care what the world thinks. I'm not a monster. I'm the victim who is wronged in a world not built for him. You're sick. I heard everything, Keith. I heard every single word, and I'm not going to let you get away with any of this. I'm not going to let you hurt a single soul. Are you sure that you don't need any company? Udell is going to keep me company, and I'd like you to be long gone before he comes. All right, guess we'll see each other in our dreams. In your dreams. Are you sure, Wanda? Am I really the only one who dreams of whisking you away in a place like the Bahamas, treating you like the queen you are? Do you not dream of the day that I show you how much I love you by showing you the sort of passionate love that is beyond your wildest imaginations? Get off my wife. You're not going to tell Lorenzo. For as long as you have been in this town, worming your way into my family's life, you won't tell him who you are. When I first came to this town, I wasn't going to tell him. But since you got nosy and got your grandson to do your dirty work, I might just let Lorenzo know that he's got a living daughter. Why are you here, Vivian? To try and make my life miserable? Did you come to Valley Park to enact some sort of revenge plan against me? I came here to know what my father was like for myself. Something you never wanted for me. And before you start going off, my mama don't know that I found out Lorenzo is my father. She don't even know I'm here. So she did exactly what you told her to do. Do you honestly think I would believe a word that comes out of your deceptive mouth? If I tell Lorenzo right now, you and I both know what the outcome will be if he asks me to take a DNA test. And once he finds out that I'm his daughter, he's gonna believe every single thing I tell him. Even if I tell him I met George Washington, he's gonna believe it, because I'm his daughter. What would keep you from telling Lorenzo who you are? Since you asked, I want 15% of your Russo Jeweler shares. What do you even like about me, Max? Are you kidding? Before I got saved, I was amazed at how bold you were. I was impressed by your intelligence and your strength. After everything Keith put me through, I don't know if I still have the same strength I had last year. Don't worry, God's gonna help rebuild the strength you lost. And he won't stop there. Now that I am saved, I'm in awe of how you continue to serve God despite what you've endured. I'm amazed by your kindness and that you've never once pretended as if you were some sort of perfect Christian warrior. But how could you still show me so much kindness after everything I put you through, Max? Guess that's what happens when a guy is crazy about a girl. This is a waste of my time. Like I said, I didn't come here to speak with you. Now get out of my way. Just let him go, Jeremiah. Let the Russos handle him. I don't want Finnegan to ruin the news I have for you. What news, Shelley? I didn't want to say anything until I was 100% sure. 100% sure of what? This is as much as a surprise to me as it will be for you both. But I'm just gonna rejoice and trust in God's timing. What I'm trying to say is that I'm pregnant. You don't know what you heard, JJ. I know exactly what I heard. You sure it's not your schizophrenia flaring up? How do you know I'm here? How do you know you're in this house? Don't try to make me sound like the crazy one when we both know what your evil plan is. Evil? I guess you weren't listening. This is justice. True justice. And you're not gonna stop me. Yes, I am. I'm taking that phone right out of your hand. Once people see what's on it, You won't get away with it because you're not supposed to be anywhere near me. So maybe I'll just drag you out so that I can hand you over to the police to drag you to jail. Dad, it was an accident. Dad, it was an accident. Don't call me, don't text me, don't even try to show up to my apartment and my office. Being with you was the worst mistake of my life, and it should have never gone as far as it did. Goodbye, Alan. Even if I tell him I met George Washington, he's gonna believe it, because I'm his daughter. What would keep you from telling Lorenzo who you are? Since you asked, I want 15% of your Russo Jeweler shares. Get off my wife. Get away from my wife right now. Just leave it alone, Udell. Don't you dare touch or get near my wife ever again. What right do you have to come at my wife like that today of all days? Alan, if you're here to rub off your misery on me, then you need to know that this isn't the place nor time. How did you find out that I've been sleeping with Dr. Murphy? I wouldn't even give you a penny, girl. Most of all, you're not getting 15% of the shares that rightfully belong to me. But it's okay for me to live the rest of my life without what rightfully belongs to me, correct? Because my simple request is the only thing keeping me from telling Lorenzo that you hid his youngest daughter from him for 20 whole years. What did you do, Keith? I already told you, Dad. It was an accident. Is JJ still alive? I'm not afraid of you, Udell. I'd rethink that if I were you. Get out, Owen. Just leave. And don't go anywhere near me or my family ever again. Let him go, Udell. He's not worth it. Are you seriously not gonna tell him the truth, Wanda? What truth? What are you talking about? Admit it, Wanda. Admit that you love me as much as I love you. You and Dr. Murphy are what? Don't do that, Dad. Don't act dumb. Watch your tone with me, Alan. It doesn't make sense for Dr. Murphy to end things with me, out of the blue. I don't know how long you've allowed Terry to use you as her little toy, but maybe you should accept the fact that she grew bored of you. I suggest you get over it and spend time with women around your own age. I've been with Dr. Murphy long enough to know that she was terrified of the thought that you'd find out about us. What are you holding over her head, Dad? What do you want with my shares? Let me just remind you that the only reason I came to Valley Park was to know what my father was like. But you brought this upon yourself, Clarice. Since you couldn't mind your own business, you owe me. And I think giving me 15% is the right amount. I don't owe you a single thing. My family owes you nothing. Not when you're, in fact, a bastard. Alright then, let's see if Lorenzo feels that way when I tell him exactly who I am and why he never got the chance to read me bedtime stories to go to sleep. Vivian, wait. Are you asking if JJ is alive because you're concerned about your friend, or are you worried that if he wakes up, he'll explain what really happened? As a matter of fact, what are you doing here? Why are you not home, and how come you're disobeying your court order, Keith? Are you gonna have me arrested, Dad? You're crazy if you think that putting your tongue down my wife's throat will make her fall in love with you. Maybe I am crazy, but you have no idea what Wanda and I mean to one another, Udell. Are you actually trying to make things worse, Owen? I'm not playing games with you anymore, Wanda. Not since Udell caught us this time. This time? Wanda, what does he mean by this time? Don't give in, Udell. Maybe we should be the ones to go. I'm not going anywhere until I know exactly what's going on here. Wanda, Owen just said that you two were caught this time. Has something like this happened before? Look me in my eyes and please tell me that you haven't allowed him to kiss you before. I'm sorry, Udell. I'm so sorry. Even if I do have something over Terry's head, what do you think you're going to be able to do? Whatever it takes to protect her. How embarrassing. Sleeping with a woman old enough to be your mother makes you feel like a grown man, huh? I am a grown man. And I'm not gonna let you control my life, Dad. Not anymore. Why are you so eager to see Terry and I apart? Because you're a living crash dummy. Every time I look away, Alan, you just make bad decision after bad decision. Sleeping with Terry is an example of stupid decisions you've made. Investing in crypto, which costs you half of your inheritance. Disrespecting your Zia Elvira by using her image in AI to haunt the Mitchells. Causing us to lose a portion of our Russo Jewelers shares until they handed it back. What's worse is that I was stupid enough to listen to an idiot like you and go after Theodosius' palace to help make up for the inheritance you lost, possibly costing me, Isabel, for good. You call what I do controlling, but I call it love. So what? If you hated me, then you treat me like Cinderella? Believe it or not, Alan, I can't ever hate you. If I hated you, then I would just sit by and let you self-destruct. As your father, you just have to trust that I'm protecting you from Terry, because what she did to our family is unforgivable. What did Dr. Murphy do that was so bad? I'd like to know that as well. If you ain't gonna give me the shares, then I don't want to listen to anything you've got to say. Fine, I'll give 5% of my shares. I ain't asked for 5%. 5% is more than enough for you. As an employee, you know how successful Russo Jewelers is. 5% is enough to take care of you for the rest of your life. Did you offer to give me 5% of Russo Jewelers when you found out Lorenzo got my mama pregnant? I didn't think so. Since you keep reminding me of how I'm your husband's illegitimate child, you felt like I had no right to the shares to begin with. If you had it your way, I would have lived the rest of my life without him. Not only do I want the shares that I'm entitled to, I want interest for lost time. Have you ever heard of the saying that every girl needs her daddy? Because of you, I lived an entire childhood without even knowing the man's name. So either give me 15% or else we got no deal and I'll go out asking Lorenzo if he'd like to take me to the next available daddy-daughter dance. I never thought I'd see this day, unless I'm hallucinating. Don't worry, Alyssa. This is real. Wow. And to think none of us ever saw this coming last year. Believe it or not, I never knew I'd feel so relieved that Vanessa wouldn't give me a dirty look and walk away from me. Where's JJ? Wasn't he with you? He went inside to use the bathroom. I just hope he didn't get lost because he's been in there for quite a while. I can't wait to tell Vanessa and JJ. This news will definitely help keep their minds off of everything. What about how you're feeling, Shelly? Are you ready to raise another baby when our first baby is about to head off to college in a year? Now that Vanessa and JJ are teenagers, we're basically starting over. We are starting over, but at least we're wiser, and I'm glad that this baby will have an older brother and an older sister who will adore them. Finnegan, how come you still have my number? I don't have enough time, Jeremiah. I just called an ambulance. You need to get inside of the house quickly. It's JJ. 1. Udell, it doesn't matter. I love you. When did you let this joker kiss you, Wanda? Don't talk to her like that. Be quiet. Okay, fine. I'll tell you. When it was on Independence Day. That long? And you kept something this major from me? After you know how much Elvira hurt me? You do something like this? I didn't say anything because it meant nothing, Udell. It was just a kiss, nothing more. Are you sure about that? Owen, just shut up and leave. I can't believe I'm agreeing with him, but I'd like to know the answer too, Wanda. Was it more than just a kiss? I'm your wife, Udell. Your wife. I love you. You're the one I'm committed to. After Yvette's hearing, Heidi walked up to us and said that our family would fall apart. Is this what she was talking about? Heidi doesn't know anything. She's just mad that Yvette wasn't thrown in prison. Don't let her get what she wants. She knew something was going on between you two. Like an idiot, I didn't even notice. After all these years, I learned nothing after Elvira betrayed me the way she did. Now it makes perfect sense as to why you and Elvira were such good friends. Udell! It's gonna be alright, Wanda. Don't get near me. I mean it, Owen. Don't try to contact me and don't even think about me ever again. Stay away from me and stay away from my family. And I'm gonna save my family. The first step is to convince myself that you don't even exist. Dad, how long? I heard everything, Essador. Alan, I'm appalled by your reckless behavior. As for you, Essador, I'm disappointed that you keep trying to clean up Alan's messes, but can't get your son to get his act together. No, I only save it, Alan. It's one thing to just waste away half of your inheritance, but as to allow outsiders to get a hold of Russo Jewelers, my father's company, Essador, I expected so much from you. But we got the shares back, Dad. Save it. I don't want to hear your excuses. The fact that you allowed the Mitchells to get a hold of Russo Jewelers' shares after what they put Maximilian through is unforgivable. But you mentioned that Dr. Murphy did something unforgivable to our family. What are you hiding, Essador? This conversation isn't over. I will ask you again. What do you plan to do with the shares? Nothing really. After I finish up with this internship, I want to leave with a little piece of home. You won't change your mind. You will be gone for good after the internship, and you'll never have to hear from me again. You can go on pretending like I never existed. But if you tell Ben or anyone else what went on here today, then I'll make sure to be worse than the worst nightmares you've ever had about me. You're 15% for my silence. The choice is yours, Clarice. Fine, I'll sign them over. It was good doing business with you. I'll be seeing you around. JJ! Baby, can you hear me? What happened? I don't know. I just came in here and he was like this. JJ, it's okay. Mama's here. Your father and Papa, we're here. Just hang on, baby. Hang on. JJ! Baby, can you hear me? What happened? I don't know. I just came in here and he was like this. As your father, you just have to trust that I'm protecting you from Terry, because what she did to our family is unforgivable. What did Dr. Murphy do that was so bad? I'd like to know that as well. Look me in my eyes and please tell me that you haven't allowed him to kiss you before. I'm sorry, Udell. I'm so sorry. We need to talk, Udell. Please. Let's figure this out. Udell, can you please just look at me? I can't bring myself to do that, Wanda. Just let me explain. Do you think I'm in the mood to be told how I've been betrayed for the second time in my life? Okay, Lorenzo. I'm here. What's going on? Seems like you weren't as busy as you claimed. Because you said it was urgent. It is. Essador told me what you've done to this family, and I demand that you explain yourself. I should have known that something was wrong. When I noticed that JJ was taking a long time, I should have known that something wasn't right. Don't blame yourself, Ulissa. It wasn't your fault. I still can't go over the fact that JJ most likely fell off of the stairs. How is that even possible? It isn't. What are you trying to say, Max? I grew up in my family's estate. Either you'd have to purposely go over the stair railing or what? Someone would have to push you off. Alright, Keith. I have risked my badge to keep you out of trouble. You need to tell me what you were doing at the Russo estate when you know you weren't supposed to go anywhere near the Dorvals. I never slept with Owen. If it was a simple kiss, then you would have told me about it straight away. You decided to stay quiet. I know, and I know how wrong it was, Udell. I'm so sorry for keeping this from you, but I decided to end my friendship with Owen. You told me that he kissed you on Independence Day. He approached us at Theodosius's palace after the 4th of July and interrupted our date. It was after that meeting when you decided to end your friendship with him. Okay, when he kissed me, I was shocked. I was shaken. I didn't know what to do. You were supposed to come to me, your husband. I understand that, Udell. But like I already told you, that kiss meant nothing to me. Since it never went further, I didn't think I should make a complicated situation even worse. Or maybe you stayed silent because you ended up having feelings for Owen. What exactly did Isidore tell you? From what he told me, it was pretty unforgivable. I can't believe that Isidore told you. After all these years, I've done everything he asked of me for my silence. Why would he decide to say something now? Because Alan wanted to know why Isidore wanted you to stay away from him. From what I overheard, Isidore gave Alan the perfect reason. What happened between Alan and I wasn't planned, Lorenzo. As for your father, your father was sick. What exactly was my father sick with? Of course, Isidore wouldn't tell you and would try to paint me as a monster. Your father was just diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He didn't want to go through it, and he didn't want anyone to know that he had it. So he pleaded with me to help end his life. I didn't do it maliciously, Lorenzo, I swear. You idiot! What are you doing? Pushed? Why would someone push JJ and leave him like that, Max? I don't know, but it's the only thing that makes sense. Because I sure don't see him trying to jump off the stair railing on his own. Mom, Dad, you said that Commissioner Berg found him, right? That's right. According to him, he just found JJ like that. What if he... Never mind. Maybe I'm just overreacting. No, Vanessa. Tell us what's on your mind. I was wondering if it was Commissioner Berg who could have pushed JJ. Why would you think something like that, Vanessa? Because I noticed how upset he was when the restraining order was filed against Keith. Maybe he and JJ got into it and ended up pushing him. Not that I think Commissioner Burke isn't capable of doing something like that, but I don't think he would have called me if he had anything to do with it. In fact, I think he would have just left JJ like that. I don't even want to consider that option. Mr. and Mrs. Dorval, I have an update on your son. I didn't think the Dorvals would be there. Don't you dare lie to me, Keith. I'm not lying. The Labor Day picnic is exactly where you met that family. And you didn't think that you would see them there? No, Dad, I didn't. Then what reason did you have to be at the Russo estate? I went there to apologize to Max. He didn't have a restraining order against me. I do not have feelings for Owen. You let that man kiss you, Wanda, more than once. If I didn't catch you, then you would have continued to keep me in the dark. What do you want me to do, Udell? How can I fix this? I'm not even sure if this can even be fixed. Of course, it can. We've made a life together. We've gone through so much, and we have a child to think about. Don't do that. Don't try and bring Yvette into this. If she knew about what you did, then it would destroy her. Our daughter is stronger than you think, Udell. You said that with confidence. Let's not get off topic. I'm not. You said that as if Yvette already knows about Owen. Does she? Wanda, does our daughter know that Owen kissed you? Yes, Yvette already knows. Isidore, I thought you told Lorenzo. Lorenzo, you told me that Isidore told you. He told me that you did something unforgivable after I found out about you and Alan. I wanted to call you so that everyone can be in the same room and discuss it like adults. But I feel sick. It sickens me that you decided to sleep with my grandson after what you did to my father, knowing what my father's passing did to my mother. Is it true, Dr. Murphy? Did you really do it? It's already clear that your brain doesn't function, Alan. Do your ears not function either? You heard her confess to taking your great-grandfather's life straight out of her mouth. As for you, Isidore, how dare you? How dare you keep this vital information from me for all these years? How dare you keep me from knowing the truth about my parents passing? Dad, I didn't want Terry to get away with it, which is why I held it over her head for over 20 years. Save it! I'm ashamed to even look at you. Justice for your grandparents was the last thing on your mind. What you did was weaponize the truth about your grandparents passing for your own benefit. It ends now, Isidore. You should have known that Dr. Murphy deserved to be in prison for what she did. Today was supposed to be a day of rejoicing. How could this have happened, Jeremiah? Our new baby is supposed to come into this world, but I'm here praying that JJ could stay in it. God has blessed our son with strength. JJ will pull through, and since you are carrying our new child, you need to stay strong for all of our children. I'll try to stay strong, but I can't get what Max said out of my head. Could someone have really harmed JJ and left him like that? Try not to think about it, Shelly. We'll figure it out when JJ wakes up and tells us what happened. I'm sorry, Jeremiah, but I can't shake this feeling. I don't think Finnegan pushed JJ, but I don't think he's completely innocent either. What do you mean? What if he knows more than what he's saying? What if he's covering for someone? Covering for who? His son. What if Keith pushed JJ off of those stairs? If you wanted to apologize, Max, then why didn't you just write him a note or leave him a message online? I wasn't sure if he'd want to read anything I wrote to him, Dad. But you knew that I'd be at the picnic to speak with D.A. Russo. How come you didn't ask me to relay the message to Max? Because I needed him to hear it from me. Whatever. The reason why you were at the Russo estate is the least of our worries. What matters most is what happened to JJ. How did he end up falling off the stair railings, Keith? What is wrong with you, woman? How did our daughter figure out that you betrayed me? Owen called me. I have forgotten to block him, and Yvette overheard me mentioning the kiss to Owen. When did this happen? Does it even matter? It's clear that you convinced our daughter to hide a heavy secret from me, her father. So yes, Wanda, it does matter. It was before she admitted to Heidi that she lied about Max. Oh my goodness. Wanda, you better not be telling me what I think you're telling me. Yvette confessed to lying about Max to try and keep Owen away from me. Clearly it didn't work because Owen can't seem to keep his hands off of you. Don't you realize what your secrets could have done? Our daughter could be in prison right now, Wanda. I know. That's something I'll never be able to forgive myself for, Udell. And I'm sorry that I got her to keep this secret from you, but Yvette and I wanted the same thing for our family to stay together. Neither of us wanted what Owen did to destroy that. As much as I hate that man, he's not the only one to blame. You clearly didn't do everything you could to keep him away. If you did, then our daughter wouldn't have had to appear in court. She wouldn't be on probation and have to do community service to avoid prison time. I should throw you out myself for the mess you've caused. Then let me clean up the mess I made, Udell. Let me prove to you that I'm committed to keeping this family together. Let me prove that I'm committed to you. Stop begging. The fact that Yvette is keeping your secrets sickens me. But I can't risk her having any setbacks. Not when she's on probation. But she needs to know that she doesn't have to walk on eggshells around me. You're gonna tell her that you know? Yes. And I'm gonna assure her that you and I aren't going anywhere. I promise to make it up to you, Udell. Your words mean nothing to me anymore, Wanda. Not anymore. For our daughter's sake, we'll remain married. But emotionally, I don't know where our marriage stands. One thing I know for sure is that I won't be sleeping in the same bed as you. Not when I'm not sure if you're fantasizing about another man as you lay beside me. That's it? You're just gonna call the police on her, No? Dr. Murphy already admitted that she didn't take your father's life to be malicious, but that he asked her to. Shut up, Alan. You have no say in the matter. Dr. Murphy, everything within me would love to see cops drag you out of my sight. But out of respect for my father, I won't call the police. This family has faced enough scandal already. What are you gonna do with me? Unlike my son, I don't find you useful at all. I'm giving you by the end of the month to set everything together and leave Valley Park. For good. Out of respect for my mother, if you don't do as I say, then you'll spend the rest of your days in a prison cell with a tarnished reputation. One more thing, you are to never touch my grandson again, you vile slut. Dad, say something. Listen to your grandfather, Alan, and shut up. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm so sorry. As for you two, I'm not even close to finishing with either of you yet. Just know that your actions have brought shame to this family. Unforgivable shame. How would Keeve have been able to be at the Russo estate unspotted? Finnegan left Keeve alone at home, remember? But why would Keeve even risk being seen when he knows the consequences? Crazy and common sense don't mix, Jeremiah. You know that. After what that boy did to Vanessa, he's capable of anything at this point. It was an accident, Dad. You've already said that. I'm tired of it. What happened, Keeve? JJ saw me inside and he just snapped. You know he's schizophrenic, Dad. He went berserk on me. He ran up the stairs and tried dragging me down. That's when I pushed him. I didn't mean to, though. I just wanted him to get off of me. In the eyes of the law, Keeve, no matter if JJ is crazy or not, you're not supposed to be near him or anyone in his family. Most of all, what matters is what JJ says if he wakes up. Like anyone would take what he says seriously. He hallucinates voices and can't be trusted to handle a gun if he's not medicated. If JJ says that he saw me, we can easily just say that I was home the entire time. Dad, I really need you. I'm scared. It was an accident, Dad. You've already said that. I'm tired of it. What happened, Keeve? I don't think Finnegan pushed JJ, but I don't think he's completely innocent either. What do you mean? What if he knows more than what he's saying? What if he's covering for someone? Covering for who? His son. What if Keeve pushed JJ off of those stairs? Your words mean nothing to me anymore, Wanda. Not anymore. For our daughter's sake, we'll remain married. But emotionally, I don't know where our marriage stands. One thing I know for sure is that I won't be sleeping in the same bed as you. Not when I'm not sure if you're fantasizing about another man as you lay beside me. You're 15% for my silence. The choice is yours, Clarice. Fine, I'll sign them over. How was the Labor Day picnic at the estate? It was a success, Pacho. Seeing the estate for the first time was surreal. It's crazy to know that I should have grown up in that big mansion. But Clarice just had to get rid of my mama and pretend like I never even existed. You'll show her how much of a mistake she made once you get a hold of Russo Jewelers. She already knows she made a big mistake once I got her to sign over 15% of her shares to me. How did you enjoy the first day of school, baby? I couldn't really enjoy it much since I spent the day wondering if JJ was going to live or not. Just stay positive, Yvette, and trust that he'll pull through. Your mother and I need to speak with you. And it's not good news, is it? Baby, I just want you to know that what we have to say isn't based on anything that you've done. Can you just tell me what's going on, Mom? I told your father about... He knows what happened between Owen and I. Thanks for dropping me off at the hospital, Max. You don't have to thank me. Besides, I enjoy spending as much time with you as I can. This has to be the worst start of senior year that I've ever had. Don't get me wrong, I'm thankful that I've got you and I was glad to have you listen support. But it felt so wrong not having JJ there today. He'll be at school eventually. Just trust that God will help your brother to wake up. Until then, I promise to be by your side, Vanessa. Whatever you need, I'll be right here for you. What's going on here? It's an emergency, Harley. What I have to explain can't be said over the phone. Okay, Finnegan. I'll be over there as soon as I can. What do you think you're doing here? To find out whether your son put my son in the hospital. Vivian Jones, you never cease to amaze me. I doubt it was easy to get those shares from her. Not easy, but it was simple. I told her that I was her husband's bastard, who she never spoke about, but that's not what made her give you the shares. I bet she was horrified. I had that lady shaking in her boots, Pacho, but that's exactly how I got her to hand over the majority of her shares to me. Since she didn't want me telling Lorenzo who I was, she offered me 15% of Russo Jewelers. What about Ben? She's gonna figure out that he lied to her and confront him about it. No, she won't, because I promised her that if she told Ben or anyone else in the family that I've got shares to the company, then I'd go run and tell Lorenzo everything. Now you've got 20% of Russo Jewelers shares. I don't think that going after everyone in the family will be that simple though, Viv. You told me that you weren't gonna say anything, Mom. You promised. I know, Yvette. Then why would you break your promise? Why would you risk tearing our family apart like this? Because it wasn't fair to you. It was never right of me to ask you to hide something so heavy from your father. Keeping it from Dad wasn't driving me crazy, Mom. Not since you told me that your kiss with Owen meant nothing. Now we won't be a family anymore. Listen to me. The three of us will always be a family. Nothing will ever change that, and no one will ever take that away. What's making you decide to stay with Mom? You kicked her out before because she never told you that Alvaro Russo cheated on you with Devontae Torres. How come you'd forgive Mom for kissing Owen? Where's Dad? I sure hope you're not trying to avoid what I just asked you, young lady. Mom, Max and I, we're together. I promised you I was gonna tell you and Dad, but JJ. Alright, that's fair. Are you okay with Vanessa and I being together, Mrs. Dorval? I've noticed how much you've grown these past several months, Max. You've been a good friend to my daughter. I want you to keep treating her right, but I'm gonna have to speak with Mr. Dorval about this when I get the chance. Hello, Shelly. Isabel, thank you so much for coming. Of course. I can't even imagine what you and your family are going through right now. Since Yulissa wanted to stop by, I wanted to let you know that you have my full support. You shouldn't even be here. No one you and your family have a restraining order against my son. Did he follow that restraining order on Labor Day, Finnegan? What are you talking about? Of course he did. Like I told you on Labor Day, I didn't bring him with me. I believe that, but I bet you were surprised when you saw Keith hovering over my son in the Russo estate after he pushed him over the stair railing. It's my job to figure out whether a crime has been committed, not yours. And since I am police commissioner, I want you to leave right now, or else I'll have you arrested for trespassing. Fine, I'll leave. But I want you to remember something. God sees everything. So if Keith did push JJ that day, nothing you do will ever change the fact that whatever is done in the dark will always come to the light. Jeremiah, what are you doing here? Going after everyone else's shares won't be easy, but you and I know how divided the Russos can be when trying to gain more power. I just need to use that against them. Alright, since you've got Ben and Clarissa's shares now, whose shares are you going after next? The next step is to go after one of my brother's shares. I just have to figure out which one is most likely to be more generous. I forgave your mother because I love her. So you weren't angry when you found out? It didn't break your heart to find out what Mom did? Maybe this is my fault. Maybe I should have just went to Elvira's gravesite and kept the secret from coming out. None of this is your fault, Yvette. Of course it broke my heart when your mother told me what happened, but I eventually came to realize that it was better that she told me instead of finding out on my own. Besides, she told me the kiss meant nothing, and I believed her, just like I'm sure you believed your mother too. Yeah, I did. And I need you to believe that I'm not gonna let Owen Grant destroy our family. Okay, Dad. I'm really glad that you and Mom were able to talk things out. I love you. And I love you more. I hope you feel good about yourself, knowing that I just lied to our daughter's face. I would have come with Max and Vanessa after school, but I didn't want to come without getting JJ a get well soon card. Thank you so much, Yulissa. JJ is definitely gonna appreciate this once he wakes up and reads it. Am I allowed to see him? Of course. Vanessa, can you take her? Okay, Mom. How are you holding up, Shelly? I'm really trying not to go crazy, but I'm doing my best to remember that JJ is in God's hands and that God has everything under control. I'm just so amazed that you and your family continue to hold on to your faith through such tough times. Seeing how Yulissa has grown this past year, being friends with your kids and going to your church, I've always felt like she was so amazing, but your family is really a great influence on her. Your daughter's a blessing, Isabel. She certainly is. And JJ is a blessing too, Shelly. I'm sure that God will provide a miracle for your family and wake him up soon. Don't worry, I was just about to leave. What was that about? JJ. Okay, why does Jeremiah have to come here to discuss his son? Especially since Keith is upstairs in his room and not legally allowed anywhere near Jeremiah or his family. Because what I'm about to tell you, Harley, I not only need you as my lawyer, but as a woman I love. You're worrying me now, Finnegan. You already know that I went over to the Russo estate on Labor Day to try and speak with Heidi about Keith's upcoming trial, which I wish you would have mentioned beforehand because I would have advised against it. Harley, you have no idea how much I wish I would have stayed away. But if you weren't there, you wouldn't have found JJ and gotten him help. And I would have kept an eye on Keith. What does Keith have to do with any of this? Wasn't he here on Labor Day? He was supposed to stay home. Instead, he went over to the Russo estate and JJ saw him. According to Keith, the two of them exchanged words, then things got heated and Keith, he ended up pushing JJ over the stair railing. Either Gianni or Essador are the next in line to take over the company. Your brothers are greedy. How do you expect to get shares from them? Figure out their deepest, darkest secret? Not at all. I plan to gain their trust and, to be honest, I'm gonna explain to them that I got shares to the company. Hold up, why would you take that risk, Viv? Don't stress. When have I ever had a plan that failed? I'm sorry that you had to do that, Udell. I take full accountability. It's not like you have any other option, Wanda. And keep your apologies. How long are we going to be like this? We can't keep on being at odds and sleeping in separate rooms forever. That's right. We can't keep doing this forever because I'm not sure how long our marriage will survive after Yvette's probation is over and when all of her community service is accomplished. Keeping our daughter from ending up in prison is the only thing saving our marriage at this point. Do any of you want anything from the vending machine? Thanks, Max, but I'll be okay. I'll go with you. I'd like to see what's available. We'll be right back, Ulissa. JJ, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't realize something was wrong. This was the last thing I expected to happen when you didn't come back right away. Lord, I need JJ in my life. Please spare his life. Lord, you are good, and despite this situation, you are still good. I pray that you would wake JJ up really soon. In Jesus' name, amen. Stay strong, JJ. Fight and come back to us. Come back to me. Oh my goodness, Finnegan. He told me it was an accident. Still, Keith is to get nowhere near any of the Dorvals. If JJ says anything, Keith will go straight to prison and you won't be able to do anything to stop it. Maybe Keith can deny being there. JJ is schizophrenic. We can just say that he's confused if he wakes up. I get that you want to protect your son, Finnegan, but you can't take that chance. I know this isn't what you want, but Keith needs to turn himself in because he's already facing the charges for stalking Vanessa Dorval and intimidating Max. If JJ says Keith pushed him, JJ will most likely be believed. Schizophrenia or no schizophrenia. Keith won't be able to survive in prison, Harley. Then we'll try to make sure he doesn't get a huge sentence. Prison might just be the best place for him. You can ensure that he gets professional help in there and use your influence as police commissioner to make sure he's protected. Alright, I'll at least think about it. Can you just give me several days to come up with an answer? I hope that JJ doesn't wake up before then, because time is not our friend, Finnegan. Keith, I need to speak with you about something.